5 today, and we are going to play with copper metallic paint. I am having a great time with this. Now, it's another Ikea Hack day. Why? Because I just happen to have these two boxes. Now, do you remember last week? I'll bring it over to you here. We played and we did this box last week. So that's all finished off. So I happen to have another one in the store because I bought two. Okay? Now they might look like stains, but they're not. So what have I done to start with? Let's get these boxes out. I have painted the whole thing in dark chocolate milk paint, okay? And it's beautiful. Look at it. It actually is the image of Java gel stain. If you let's say you had a staircase and the railing of the staircase is already painted. A lot of you have often asked me this question, can you stain it now? Well, no, you can't, because it's already painted. So you have to either bring it back to raw wood to stain it, or you could paint it in dark chocolate, because that dark chocolate with the high performance over it looks like a really dark stain. So it's absolutely beautiful. What I have done is I've painted this up in the dark chocolate, but when you paint raw wood like this, it becomes very rough feeling after you've painted it, because the paint is a liquid and it's been absorbed into your wood. So what I want you to always do is when you finish painting a piece and you have your top coat on as well, feel it. Now that feels really rough. So then you get out your superfine sanding pad, okay, like this. And when it's finished, get your superfine sanding pad and do this. Right, just very lightly get your kitchen roll, because it's going to look all dusty. I don't know, you probably can't see that now, but it looks all dusty. You think, oh God, have I taken the paint off? You haven't. It only gets like that because the paint is very dry. So you literally wipe it off, the dust off, right? And then, oh my God. Now when you feel that, that is beautiful. It feels as good as it looks. Now, I want to show you what I did. This is copper pearl metallic paint that we've just got in. It's in a fantastic, handy, squeezy bottle. And I've taken these drawers and I've done 3 different things with them, and I want to show you the different looks you can get with the metallic paint. So that is just painted. Hi Eileen, you got the email. This is just painted. Look at that. Isn't that stunning? Now that's about 2 or 3 coats. You need to build up this metallic paint, and I'll show you in a second. So that's just painted, all right? Hi Marie, did you get your parcel yet? So this one then, you can see the difference. This one has the dark chocolate underneath, and then I dry brushed the copper over it. Now I'm going to put these two together. Can you see the difference? This has the dark undertone of the chocolate, and I just dry brushed the metallic over it. This is the metallic on its own, okay? Then I tried one more thing. And you see, I'm thinking of you guys and furniture and the sides of furniture and the drawers of furniture. Hi Sandy, thank you so much for joining us. This one here then, because the box is dead flat wood, right? I wanted to give it a little bit of texture. So what I did with this one was I painted it dark chocolate. I then stippled, or pounced as you call it in the States, the copper over it. So I pounced it, I created stipples, and then, hi Mary, Kylie, how are you? And then I let it dry in its stipples, and then I glazed. So that looks completely different again. So now have a look at that, and that, and that, all using the same product, all right? So let's have a play, and I'll show you what I've done. So this is the next one, and it's funny, you know, because you see the box as it is now. I had only intended just doing them all in the same colour, but actually I like the different shadings, so I might do 2 of each. So this one, I have one coat of the metallic paint on, so I'm going to paint another one. Ooh, rose gold. Does look rose gold actually. Yeah, it says copper, but it is quite rose gold. I'm going to show you how I do this. So I'm just going to squeeze a little bit on. Really handy bottle. And I'm going to paint on the second coat. And you'll really see the copper metallic colour build when you put the second and third coat on. And I'm going to stay going the same direction because I do notice with this that if I change direction I can see the stroke from underneath. Now maybe that will go when it's dry, I'm not sure. But just in case, I'm going to make sure I go in the same direction. So you can see the colour build up there. So that's 2 coats of the metallic. Okay, you can see that. So then on this next box, right, I have this in dark chocolate. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dry brush the metallic over the dark chocolate to show you that other effect. The different shades really complement each other. They do actually, they do, Elaine. So I'm going to put out some of this metallic paint out onto a bit of paper here in front of me. And I'm going to have some kitchen roll because I say I want to dry brush it. I don't want it, I want to build the colour up slowly till you decide what you want. Okay. And then dry brush it like that. Now this would be beautiful if you had mouldings and onlays on your piece. And let's say you had painted the whole piece in dark chocolate, which by the way is an amazing colour. And then you decided, you know what, I need to accent certain pieces of it. Well then this would be a very good way to do that. Dry brush and let the colour build up, just like this. Hope you guys can see this, can you? See the colour building up? Okay. And I'm flicking out over the edge to make sure that I don't have any brush marks stopping. Do you see that? So that still gives you the dark colour underneath. Okay, so that's our 2. I'm going to let them dry off for a second. And this is one where we start off with nothing. So what was the other one I did? Oh yes, I'm going to paint this in the dark chocolate and then I'm going to pounce the metallic over it. Okay, so I'm going to paint this in the dark chocolate. The coverage in the dark chocolate is incredible. It goes on so easy and spreads so far. So let me get this done. I have a hairdryer beside me so I can very quickly get it dry and then we'll pounce on the metallic. And I'm calling today an Ikea hack day because I want to show you a mirror, an Ikea mirror I've just done as well. What paint do you use? Carol, I'm using General Finishes Milk Paint, which is a self-priming, self-leveling, self-sealing, just the best paint in the world, I think, for furniture. So that's what I'm using for the box itself and for the drawers. And for the metallic, I'm using this new one that we just got in from a supplier, and it's a pearl metallic in copper. What I want to know from you guys is, will I get this in other colours? I only got it in copper. I want to know, should I get it in silver? Should I get it in what, gold? But they also had it in beautiful purples and greens and teals. Should I get this in other colours? Would you use it, or is it a bit too arty crafty for furniture? So let me just dry this off and then I'm going to stipple the copper down on top. Okay, so bear with me for a second with the noise. Okay, so there we have the front of our drawer painted in dark chocolate, right? So now I'm going to stipple. So I'm going to put my copper paint out on beside me, a good bit in my hand, and I'm literally going to stipple like this. Right, good bit on the brush again, and I'm going to stipple it on. And I'm going to let this dry itself because this is creating texture on a what is otherwise a very flat piece of wood, because it's very hard to glaze dead flat wood. it is much easier if you have a bit of texture and the glaze kind of slots in. It's like a moulding, it slots in to the nooks and crannies that you're creating in your stipples. Now make sure there's lots of nice big stipples. You don't want it flat. I want a bit more actually. And even when that dries, you can go back in and do a bit more. I want to make sure that the brown is covered as well. Okay, so that looks pretty good. That's lots. See that? Now, yeah, you can see it there, the stipples. So I'm going to let that dry itself. And when I'm done, when that is, when that is dry, I'm going in with this. This is a black glaze, Glaze Effects, again by General Finishes. I have it decanted into this. But while I'm waiting on those other things to dry, I want to show you my Ikea mirror. Now, you know these Ikea mirrors, cheap as chips, €2 I think they are. I created texture on this with a structured paste, right? It's actually called a modeling paste, this stuff here. I know this is back to front, but it's called modeling paste, right? And it's basically like a cement. So I got myself one of these, right? So it's just a little palette knife, but you can also use a credit card or something like that. Dipped it in, right? And I just did that, and I just dragged it across. But it's quite rough. I don't know whether I've left a bit of it. It's quite rough, this, right? And I did that in a demonstration on one of our gatherings a couple of months ago in Portlaoise, and I never did anything with it since. So today I decided to use my copper paint on it. And oh my God, I mean, look at this. This is stunning. This is like, oh my God, this is like a designer mirror now. So I'm going to get my paint in there. I left a bit for you so you can see. And those of you who were at my demonstration in Portlaoise a couple of months ago or a few months ago, you will remember me doing this. So jab it all in like this. Hope you can see. Can you see what I'm doing? Right, make sure it gets into all the little areas. Right, and what you find is the sheen, can you see it there? The sheen is incredible, but you could glaze over this. You could use more pearl effects over this to give, but I actually love it as it is. I had intended doing other things to it, but I mightn't do anything because it's absolutely gorgeous just as it is. So I'm jabbing the paint in there. I need a little bit more. That's what's handy about this. Just turn it upside down, get the paint on it. Right, and jab it in like that. Right, we'll come back to our box now in a minute. Now, isn't that pretty gorgeous? I think that is just lovely. Yes, it has a masculine tone, but copper is all in. You see all those beautiful copper light hangings. Okay, so that's our mirror back. Now this is a self-sealing paint, as you know. But on the darker colours, I want to show you the difference. Yeah, this is a good example. It's a self-sealing paint, but it's a very low luster paint. And low luster means that it'll attract fingerprints and things like that on the darker colours. But that doesn't happen if you put a top coat over it. Now you can see the top coat on that. But also on the darker colours, what you'll find is it enhances the colour. So look at this. Can you see the difference? That is the same paint, one without a top coat and one with a top coat. Okay, so let's put these back in and see what they look like. Here's our stippled one. I have to wait for that to dry before I can glaze it, so it's going to look a little bit different to the others. We'll leave it sticking out there a little bit. But I'm really pleased with that. I think that's very, very different to what I normally do, because as you know, I'm a real pretty girl. I like my, you know, my very pretty little decoupage stuff, but I think it's a lot more trendy. I hope you all enjoyed that. I will put this up on my YouTube channel, okay? Just look up shabby.ie and make sure if you subscribe then you won't miss what's coming up. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.